Hello everyone, this is Shelby with Shelby Creations. Just thought I'd pop on today and sort of clear off my desk again. It has really gotten messy. I've got a project that I'm doing. I'm just running through my head. But I keep losing the pieces. And I'm not sure if that happens to any of you too, but I have this one left over. Remember we used this for like the monthly horoscope journal? That for those small projects, this will work great. So I'm just gonna put that in there. Now one thing I noticed, I went trying to ink around the edges, and you see there's hardly any ink showing. Yeah, that needs to be addressed too. Only thing with these is they're hard. I find this one hard to close. The other ones I have, they're not so bad. I set that up there. That way I know where it's at. Because when we were doing the horoscope journal, before I found that thing to put it in, I was losing it constantly. I did already refill my glue, my Fabri-Tac. I did do that. I know, shock of shocks. But because I was getting so little ink, it's time to re-ink my ink pad. And probably about time for another dauber soon too. But I keep all of my re-inkers and stuff in this tote. Why? Because I have it. Why not use it? Why go out and buy something, that you don't need because you already have some? The one I currently am using, I make sure it's closed really tight and it lays on top. But these are all the re-inkers, and I do have a couple of oxide sprays. But all of these are re-inkers for the colors I have. Now, I'm not going to buy anything that I don't have because, what would I use it on? And these are the colors that I do use. So when you go to re-ink your distress ink, I was unsure when I got mine. So I went on, searched and hunted for Tim Holtz's video on it. And this is the way I learned to do it from there. That is kind of snug. But it has to be or else your ink will run out. Now, I get a full dropper, and I start, and I go around the edges, and then start filling in. You see how quick that is being absorbed? That's because my ink pad did not have enough ink on it. Well, there wasn't much in that one. Am I getting down to the bottom of the barrel here? Yep, I think so. But I like putting it only around the outside mainly. And I put it down until it doesn't want to absorb anymore. Now I still have some, it's hard to see through these bottles how much I have left. Let's try one little bit. Well, I think that's it for this one. Oh, there might be a touch in here left, but I can't pick up anything else. But I'm not going to throw this away, because what I can do is when I go to dye things, I can put water in here, or I can put alcohol in here, and it's not going to give me a thick dye, like we had here, but it'll give me one enough to where I can use my dauber to dye lace. I can, different things like that. So put that lid on kind of snug. Now you notice it's just about, there's a very faint trace in an area. So when you re-ink your pad, let it sit. Don't use it right away. Let it sit for an hour or so, or even overnight. So I'm going to set this. I don't want, now because this is empty, I'm not going to put it back in my container. But I will, and I mean, I've got, like you've seen, I've got quite a bit in there. I could have bought one of, you know, the special holders for those, but they take up more room than that. Another thing, those of you that have, wait, let me put this away while I'm thinking about it, or else it'll sit there and that's not going to be conducive up to what we're trying to do. I don't want to put that away yet. Okay. A lot of you have seen me when I make my own stamps. I recently got this stamp set, which is just the squares and circles. And I think this is for, where you take your paints and, what is it called? You know, where you do like the darker side here and then fade it out. Anyway, color swatch. That's what it is, color swatching. And so I took this and, let me see, because I like making homemade stamps. Those of you that have seen me make them have seen this. All this is a piece of acetate that I've cut the stamp size holes that I want. And this is surgical tape. And you can buy this at just about any drugstore. And I put that down there, mainly because the surgical tape, it's not going to move that much. And then by doing it on this side with the acetate facing up, it's easy to wash it off. But there's my squares there. I have different little, I got this many for the numbers, for the stamps. I went through my stamps that I have to get small ones that would fit within the circles. So I have these. And then this one here has smaller numbers on it. And I just pulled these from the stamps that I have in my stash. Well, now I can't get this one out. Come on, there we go. So what I did here, put the back in here and these back in here. And I keep all these together because I only use these for stamps. On here, you see how it's like a complete grid? Well, what I did was I went in and actually cut one off. And you can do this off of the grid so that I can use just one. Now, I can cut the rest of them up because you can see where that one's been cut off. I can finish cutting the rest of these or not. This one here is separate, so I've got one of each. But, yeah, and that's what I use for my stamps. But I keep those all in a container also, because I don't want to have to pull out a stamp from here, some from there. Yeah, it's all right here. It's like you're making your own kit. Okay, now I did say I needed to change that dauber. In order to do that, I have to move stuff out of the way because they're all over here somewhere. In front of me, and it couldn't. I was looking on the wrong side of the drawer. Okay, so that goes back up. I have figured out quite a while ago that, well, I used to look for stuff and I'd move stuff to find it, and then I wouldn't put the stuff I moved away. Now, when you change your dauber, there is still a ton of ink on here. Now, you can put it in a small jar and fill it with alcohol or water and get the ink out. You can use, and then use that ink for, give you a type of a coffee dyed paper and such as this. Excuse me. But to take it off, Let me see where. I know, I put the stuff away. That's why I can't find it. Let's scoot over here just a moment. And I've got a piece of plastic wrap. Now I know what you're thinking, Shelby. Why are you using plastic wrap? Well, I'm going to show you. I'm going to take a piece, and yes, mine's wrinkled on the end. I have the hardest time with plastic wrap. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it over and try to grab from the bottom, and well, try to get it to where I don't get the Velcro part. See how it comes up? There is a side that will come up without it. I just haven't found it yet. All right, if you're like me and you have trouble finding it, I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to go up underneath that, but over the Velcro. That Velcro has latched onto that big time. All right, let me see if I can get it off. Yep. Ah. So this is the one with all the ink, and because I want to use it later for dyeing stuff, I'm just going to wrap it in some plastic wrap and set that aside. Now, I don't know about you, but I have the hardest time getting these centered. So what someone told me was, especially if you've got the glass mat, put this in the middle of one of your little white squares, and then put this in the middle of the white square. And it doesn't always work. Is that even the same size? Or just a bit bigger? Doesn't matter. Anyway, I got it on. So now I have a new dauber. Now, most of you will realize that when we put a new dauber on and we put it down onto our ink pad, it doesn't really get a lot on there. Voila. You do have to be kind of careful because this can be messy. Like there's stuff that we do, like we can't get messy. We're having too much fun. What I like to do is just take what I've got left in the bottle, very carefully, just going over the bottom of that dauber, because I don't want it to come out. And voila, we've got it. A perfectly inked dauber. Now, if we set this up, or set it up this way, it will finish leaching down into the dauber. So, let me see if it will fit. No, I got too much tape in that. Okay, so, how do we set this up? Very easy. I've got a piece of, well, an old sports tape. This used to be called bandage tape, but it's now called sports tape. It's the fabric tape. If you set that down, you can set that in there and it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to tip. Well, even if it does tip, it doesn't go all over your desk. Now with this, I think all I want to do is, see, do I want to add alcohol or water to that? That's my big decision. You know what? I think I'm going to do, what am I going to do? Do I have, I'm rummaging through my big supply drawer down here. And I thought I had my big jar of alcohol in here, but I do not see it. I know I had one. Okay, well, we'll do what we've got over here. You see what we've got in up top here. I've got a whole spray jar here of alcohol. So I'm going to take it out of here. And pour some in here. I can see where the... Okay. It's so hard to see in these dark little jars. Now, before we do anything else, ink, especially this kind of ink, is like tomato paste. One little drop will get everywhere. I think that was alcohol instead of ink. But be very careful with yours. Now, see what I mean? Now, why are you leaking? Oh, because I have you too full, maybe? But just after a little bit, see how much that is? Oh, better yet. Oh, I'm making a mess. I am making a mess. But you know what? It's okay. We can make messes. In fact, that's exactly what we're going to do right now. I pulled a couple of sheets of paper out of my printer. I see it gets all over the desk. I'm not going to wipe it up. I'm going to let it leach into the paper here. Nice little circles. Yeah, don't fill your container up as much as I did. I'm going to put some of this down. Mainly because I got to get some down in the... some of it out of there. Now, I'm going to take my paper towel right where there's already ink. And I'm just going to put my sleeves up. Up, wipe underneath, turn it over, and we'll do some on this side. No, it's not completely covered, but it will dry super fast. So there's that part. What if I tear a piece of this off? Definitely got to roll up your sleeves for this, or wear short sleeves. Let's see, because I mean, this is just, it would have been thrown away anyway. I'll ball this up and put my ink all over here, all on this side. Just get it all in that piece of paper. I know this is not cleaning up our desk, but you know, it's okay. We're being creative. You don't have to clean your desk if you're being creative. I don't know if the color is going to go through like that. Let me see if it'll shake up now. I still need to have the paper towel around it. Get all the goodness out of there. Let's do some more drops. Yeah, with this you could actually as we've seen here, it does put down designs on the paper. You can actually bring your bottle in. Let's do some more rings. I know that sounds probably irking people. Glass on glass. But it'll be okay. Now, we made a mess, but it was fun doing it. Wipe this up. And yes, I've still got some on here. Because it hasn't fully dried. You know, sometimes alcohol will dry so fast, but not bad. Just need to wait for it to finish fully drying, which won't be too long, because it's alcohol. You can see where it is drying, because you can see the difference in the colors. That's why if I'm going to coffee dye, using the term, I'd rather do it. Now see, look at what the paper towel left. And you see the little designs around there. Ah, my fingers. So that's interesting. That is something to look forward to doing some more of. Now, the main thing with using alcohol inks is to get them off of your fingers. The best thing to use is alcohol. Yes, it will dry your hands. Alcohol will dry them, but they will also clean them. I mean, there was so many times in the beginning I would end up going to the store with inked fingers, and see, not all of it came off. So let's try our next thing. I got everything falling all over the place here. Baby wipes. Now see, I do use the alcohol if I've got a lot of ink and not much. I use the baby wipes mainly when it comes to ink to clean my stamps. I mean, look how much more came off of my hands. I don't know if you're seeing so either one would work. Another really good thing to use to clean your hands after you've been crafting so much, and I know they carry it in the stores here. I'm pretty sure it's everywhere. It's called lava soap. That stuff is great. And yes, it is on my shopping list because I am out. So, yeah, it's dried just that fast. And that's the piece I've got. I can either use the lighter side or the darker side. So I've got another piece of background paper. And where does our background paper go? And with all the rest of it. So I'm putting it away as, well, it doesn't want to go in there. Why don't you want to go in? Oh, probably because I got too much stuff over there. But that's where you belong. That's where you're going. Okay. Now, on to get finished. I'm going to set this one up here because that needs to get done. This needs to get put away. So we're only taking a few minutes here and get everything where it's supposed to be. I've got stickers. which goes in with the other stickers. And then I have a few stamps. I peeled this one off, so I just stuck it on my map. But look how pretty those are. A friend of mine sent me a whole bunch of them, and these were duplicates. So the duplicates I will hang on to and do something with. All the other ones, because I have so many. I have a friend in the Netherlands that collects stamps. This is lotion. Moisture Day Cream. Because I'm in here and sometimes, you know, it just gets, your face gets dry. We got those as a sample from, I think when we were up in Chapel Hill last week for my doctor's appointments. All right, this has to go where it's supposed to go. So I know I'm going to use it. I'm putting it right in there because I can't really do anything till I clean up my desk. This has a place. My eyeglass cleaner has a place. And more alcohol swabs, alcohol wipes, whatever you want to call them. Those go in my drawer. Yes, they have a place. See, my space is so small that if I don't have a place to put it, I can't keep it. Yep, that's the rules according to Victoria. And I'm not picking on her or saying they're bad rules. They're actually really good rules. Sharpie gets put away. And then I have this. This is something we're going to do together. I just have to finish this one first. This is like my prototype. And all it is this is like a stamp. And as we pull it down, that opens up. So this is, that goes in the new video file. That goes over there. And, oh, I know I got to finish doing those apart. I've got this sitting here. This, even though I'm still using it, I do have a place for it. I do have a place for it. And it's in its place. This, I think I've waited long enough. I can put that back in the little tray. This goes back where it belongs. And other than the stamps, it's all done. Another clean desk, a little bit of fun, a lot of putting away. And we will be ready for our next adventure in the Dragon's Den. So I'm so glad you joined me this afternoon. If you like just spending time with me, give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you next time right here at the Dragon's Den. Bye, guys.